Hey everyone, welcome to the first Citywide Bytes of 2026. I'm your host, Max Bowen. In this episode, I'm talking with Toronto based singer songwriter Henry Lees for his brand new single, Smoke, which he co wrote and produced with fellow artist, singer songwriter, multi instrumentalist, and producer Sean Thomas. That's a lot, isn't it? But this is going to be a great talk, folks. In this episode, Henry's going to talk about the origins of Smoke, the creation process working with Sean, and what else he has planned for 2026. Enjoy. All right, Henry. So first off, I want to just say thanks so much for joining us. I love how this thing just kind of came together from hearing your new single "Smoke," and then we started like following each other on the socials. I reached out to the PR guy, and boom, here we are doing this thing.
I love the way things organically come together.
Yeah, definitely. So let us talk about the single. This one was just released a couple of weeks ago, which you also co-wrote and produced with Sean Thomas. He's a singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and producer, so a man of many talents.
Yes, no, definitely.
But what inspired the song itself, the story behind it?
Sean and I have been writing together since 2018, and we had just scheduled to get together. He lives in Vancouver, I live in Toronto, so a lot of distance in between. Sometimes we find ourselves in the same city, but we decided let's have a writing session and got together and thought, okay, I came into the session wanting to write something up with sass and just let's write a breakup song. We haven't done that yet. And so this is one of the ones that was almost complete projection, but not 100. I'd say probably 80% projection just for drama. But I mean, we've all had experiences like the one that's described in Smoke, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a very fun Zoom session, and it's a bit of a challenge to write over Zoom, that's for sure. And came away with the basic skeletal structure of Smoke and some of the lyrics. And then we had a second session together after Sean had come up with a few musical ideas as well, wrote the rest of the lyrics. They were only ever really tweaked minorly before I recorded the lead vocal. And he came back with a track that blew me out of the water in terms of this is funky. It has a lot of attitude, and
Yeah,
so
exactly.
then I recorded lead vocals, and he put the track together with that, and came back, and I fell off my chair again when I heard that. So
Yeah, I just love like the vibe of the song because, like you said, it's very funky. It's very like upbeat. Like you said, it is kind of a breakup song, but it's not a particularly sad one. It's not like, oh, everything's sad and I'm alone, I'm lonely. It's
yeah,
actually got I think a very positive like vibe to it. Was that kind of like the idea behind
we,
it?
yeah, we wanted to make sure that it had some empowerment to it,
Mm.
and it's I call it the bad dream date song because it's it's really not the breakup of a long-term relationship. It's more finding out about somebody's shortcomings, uh, to put it mildly, after maybe just one evening. So yeah.
Yep, I've been there. I have absolutely been there. Like you're sitting there, you're talking to a person, and like on the outside, you're smiling, you're cool. On the
Yeah.
inside, you're thinking, please God, get me out of here.
Absolutely. And there's one of the things that really added some fun to this is that there's quite a bit of an age difference between Sean and I.
Hmm.
And so a couple of times as we were writing lyrics and working together on that, I would say, does your generation actually say this?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it does
Would
change.
this work?
Yeah.
Would it be non-cringy for your generation?
Use the term of the youths these days.
Yeah, so I think that helped us write something that spans the ages,
Yeah,
and it makes it more relatable for sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you worked with Sean since 2018. How did the two of you first come into
Mhm.
like each other's orbits, and what's been the work process like?
It was very cool. We there is an annual, well, it's more than annual now, songwriting workshop in Toronto called Song Studio.
Ooh.
Usually, in years previous, it has been held for a week at
Hmm.
the Conservatory of Music at the University of Toronto in July. And so then when the pandemic hit, that changed everything. It went online, and now it's a hybrid between in person and online. And I went to the 2018 session, and Sean was also attending. And one of the exercises that the instructors make you do during this week is they pair you up with somebody that you don't know to do a co-write. And so the first day that's established. So as the 60 or 70 of us are sitting in a room, and they're calling out names to pair people up for the co-write exercise. I got called, and then they called Sean Thomas. I looked around, and I went, "Oh no, there's probably 30 years difference between us. We're gonna have nothing in common." and yeah, and then we got together, and it's probably the best first co-writing experience I've ever had. So
Yeah.
there really it was like we just, I'm sure for both of us, we just opened up to possibility,
Yeah.
and we have written, I think it's about 5 or maybe 6 songs since.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
What would you say makes it work? Especially like you said, there's a significant age gap too.
Well, Sean, even though he's quite young, has a very great perception of the world and a lot of smarts. In fact, probably outdoes me in that respect quite often. And he's just really an open-hearted person who is very enthusiastic to try things and is also very talented, very very talented. So
Okay.
that really, I think, set it up for a successful situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine that there's like a lot of folks at home who are kind of, like they want to collaborate. They want to work with someone, whether it's with a music, book, film, what have you. So going into this, what would you say would be your advice for how to make like a collaboration really flow?
Go in with a few ideas,
Hmm.
uh, but be open to the fact that they may not be what you end up pursuing. Be open to the other person's ideas, and also don't get too precious over what you're writing.
Hmm.
Always strive for what is the best, no matter whether it came from you or it came from the other person or the other people or a combination effort. Just be generous with your creativity and be open to ideas for the betterment of the song as a whole.
Hmm. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. All right. So, what's going to be happening with Smoke moving forward? Do you think this will be on like a future album or EP?
Probably, yes. I have about another 3 or 4 songs in the wings to release that are mostly done or in close to done state.
Hmm.
And then I will probably package everything into at least an EP and try and give everything a second life that way.
I like it.
One of the advantages of the current state of music is that the window of viability for a release is much longer than it
Hmm.
used to be.
Hmm.
So that's one of the positives, that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like you've been doing this for a little while, so I imagine you've kind of seen like the shift in the industry where before it was like
Hmm.
boom, and now it's like take your time. You got options for like promotion and things like that.
Yeah. There's certainly things that you need to do when something first is released, but I think there are more options now further down the line for
Hmm.
giving a song or an album more life
Hmm.
and bring more
Yeah.
life into it for sure, which I think is a great thing, because
Oh.
quite often as an independent musician, you either have something else in your life that's taking up a lot of time, like a full time job, or you don't have the unlimited resources that you could throw at it monetarily to try and get it to people's ears. So you have to stretch out what you're doing according to budget and according to time.
Exactly. Now, one thing I read, and I think that this is just really, really cool, is that Smoke was chosen as a semifinalist in the Best Artist category for the 2025 Unsigned Only Music Awards. That's a
Yeah.
lot, which
Yeah, yeah.
is really huge, though, to have this song right out the gate, boom, it gets recognized in this way. What does that mean to you in terms of like this song and what's going to happen to it moving forward?
That's a huge vote of confidence from
Sure.
industry peers. And not to mention, a great thing for a relatively unknown artist's resume, for sure. I started entering song competitions in 2021, and that recognition for Smoke before it was actually released to the general public was, I believe, the 10th time I've had recognition for a song since 2021 with an international competition
Hmm.
like that. So it tells me that I should keep doing what I'm doing,
Yes,
and
exactly.
is a real great validation, definitely, and an honor I will always cherish for sure.
Hmm. Okay. Does the success of Smoke, do you kind of want to like what is that sort of like I mean for you in terms of like future releases? Do you feel like you have to like really like buckle down and work like even harder because as you said, the international music community is now watching you?
Yeah, I think I'm still a long ways from being on general radar, but you always are working more towards that.
Hmm.
And for me, it's the song more than anything that is the hallmark. So I just want to keep writing them and hopefully getting them to more ears and getting them out to as many people as possible, and hopefully that they do something to move another person when they hear them in one way or another, become something special or attached to a special memory, and that's number one for me for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I love hearing origin stories. So I want to know, Henry, what got you into music in the first place and what made you think,
Mm.
yes, I want to keep doing this, like make it a career someday?
When I was three and living in Vancouver, I had four much older sisters, and so they all were into music and had their favorite artists and so on. My favorite toy at that age was our console record player. So much so that my parents had to tie it shut so I wouldn't ruin the needle in the.
I love that was your toy growing up. That is so cool.
And I do remember being asked what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I was a little
Hmm.
bit older, but I wasn't old enough yet to realize that I couldn't grow up to be an inanimate object. And I said I wanted to become a record album.
Yeah, sorry, sorry.
And so that I think was an initial indication of what music would mean to me throughout my life. And my mother's side of the family has was always very musical. Her brothers, my uncles had a family band for decades. My mother was a self-taught pianist and accordion player, and played in groups right up until her 60s. So music was always around,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's I love that you got to grow up in like that kind of environment. I feel like any environment we get to grow up in the arts is just always going to be beneficial for you down the road.
Definitely, definitely. I, it's definitely a part of my youth and a part of my growing years that I
Hmm.
cherish the most, for sure,
Yeah.
and helps keep me going now, and in terms of giving me a basis and fuel to keep going and keep creating.
Hmm. How about going from like your first release to where we are now with Smoke? How do
Yeah.
you think you've changed or grown as a musician?
I've become more confident in my writing. I've
Hmm.
become more confident in vocally. I've always I played drums from the time I was 6 until my mid 20s, but I also sang. And then I got rid of my drum kit so I could get the money to travel to Europe. And then I was always in a living situation after that where I was never able to have that kind of noise going on. So I just really focused on singing after that. I have learned enough confidence to record myself, enough confidence has grown to realize that I'm able to do that. And I've heard my voice change over the years, and I've become more confident with that as well.
So cool. Do you feel like you're, and I hope I see this right, but do you feel like you're like arrived as a musician, like Henry Lee's full-time musician here? This is like who I am.
Well, you know what? There's always a destination to get to, and I don't
Sure.
think that, unless I was full time touring and full time, writing for a publisher, or something that gave me, the ability to have it as 100% of my income. I think that I wouldn't say that I've arrived until one of those things would happen, or all of them. So I'm still driving towards the destination.
Yeah, you keep at it though. You keep
Yeah,
at it, you know?
yeah, yeah,
And it's never too late to do this thing. I think some people think, "Oh, I didn't start when I was like 20 years old. Forget about
yeah,
it. It's not going to happen." No, just do the thing. I mean, I know people who didn't get started until they were in their like late 40s, and now they're like New York Times bestsellers. They're
yeah.
touring globally. You know, it's never ever too late.
I always love seeing a particular meme that lists a lot of very well-known
Yeah.
artists and business people and so on. And this meme says, well, so and so didn't start this until age didn't paint her first picture until age 76, didn't write his first song until age 40 something.
Yeah.
And so you look at it, and it reminds you that that little voice that can sometimes pop up in your head to say, oh, you're too old for this now. You should just sit and be quiet. It reminds you that you need to tell that voice to shut up and just keep going.
One of my favorite writers, Jonathan Mayberry. He is a multi New York Times bestseller. He's got Netflix deals, comic deals, everything. Did not begin writing until he was about 48 years old.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
And and look at him now. So it's
Hmm.
like never ever too late.
No.
Um, One thing I read about you, Henry, and I think this is just so cool, but you've had a pretty varied career. It's not just been musician. You're doing like
Mhm.
radio jingles, musical theater. What kind of spread you in all those like different directions?
Just the opportunities that came up. I mean, musical theater is more sort of like a high school and college
Sure.
age thing.
Okay.
Um, I worked for, my main career has been as a television writer and producer. I'm a marketing manager now, but still
Hmm.
working in media. And so one of the first jobs that I had in television involved producing programming that, of course, needed a lot of audio elements. And so I was working with quite often an audio production house that was down the street from where our offices were in Calgary, Alberta. And I just ended up falling into being asked to sing on jingles from time to time once they found out that I also sing. So it's always been um, being in a place when something's needed, or the people you know, or the people you work with, or the people you've met, and it's always a situation like that. Sometimes it's been because you've pursued something specifically, but so it's given my career, my day job, if you will, has given me opportunities in music as well.
All right. All right. So we are coming down to the end of this conversation, Henry. But of course, the
Yeah.
big question that I want to ask you is, what's next for you?
Release more music, write more music,
Yeah. Yeah.
try and I sing with not only my I perform not only my own music, but I sing with other folks as well. So there's a lot of shows coming up and so on. So it'll be a busy year, busy 2026,
I
hopefully.
look forward to that. Cool, cool. All right. Well, folks, we have told you everything about this man. Now, here's what you do. You go to henryleesmusic.com, check everything out. Check out Smoke. Let us know what you think in the comments. Did what you like about it? Did it kind of relate to you? What else do you like want to see? And Henry, thank you once again for joining me. I really
Thank
appreciate
you,
this.
Max. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful and a lot of fun. Great to talk to you.
Likewise. All right. Well, folks, this has been Citywide Bytes. I'm your host, Max Bowen. We'll see you all next time.